the potential showdown in the heavyweight division between Usyk and Deontay Wilder. And let me tell you something, boys and girls. If this fight happens, and it's not been made official, but if this fight happens, this is exactly what's wrong with the sport of boxing today. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Now, first and foremost, let's take a look at Usyk. Usyk is I got a comment in the chat room earlier saying this fight, the Usyk Wilder fight, is a clear cherry pick, easy money. And he mentions that it's damaging Usyk's legacy, and that's exactly what I was just going to say. My man Orlando popped up into the chat room. What a surprise! What's going on, my man? Another Florida Boxing Hall of Famer. Anyway, I was just going to say the same thing about Usyk. I'm so impressed with Usyk and the fact that the fighters that he's fought. If you take a look at Usyk's resume, I mean, right now, as far as I'm concerned, he's the world heavyweight champion. He vacated the WBO title, but he still holds the WBC, the IBF, WBA, and IBO world titles. In his last several fights, he beat Tyson Fury not once but twice, Anthony Joshua not once but twice, and Daniel Dubois not once but twice. He's number one in the computer rankings, number one in the ring rankings, number one in the ESPN rankings, number one in the Billy C rankings, and number one on the IBO top 100, which I actually think is the most realistic rating system of all. And for the WBC, now they're in their convention right now, and the WBC has confirmed that they're letting they made some announcements with championships, right? And they said with the heavyweight division that they approved Usyk to make a voluntary defense if he wants. And one of the rules under the WBC is that you have to be ranked in the top 15. Well, guess what? Deontay Wilder is ranked at number 13 in the WBC. But here's the truth of the matter, boys and girls. Deontay Wilder the computer ranks him at number 44, the BoxRec computer. The IBO computer has him slightly higher than that at number 31. The WBC has him at number 13, but he's not ranked anywhere else. And remember what I said, the IBO computer rankings number 31, the BoxRec computer rankings number 44, which is realistic for him. The IBF, the WBA, the WBO, the Ring Magazine, ESPN, and the Billy C Boxing rankings all don't have him ranked. Now, here's a guy, when you look at Deontay Wilder, all right, look, let's call a spade a spade. Deontay Wilder, he was I call him a one-trick phony. A one-trick phony. You heard it right, a one-trick phony. Yes, he was a world champion, but he had one thing, and that's a devastating, and you got to give him credit for that, devastating right hand, okay? But that's it. He had no footwork, never incorporated a jab, which his physical build, he should be able to use a jab, has no defense at all. And when you look at his resume, he won the title off of Bermane Stiverne. His biggest win, I'm not even going to give him credit for winning Stiverne. Stiverne really was done. He didn't even want to fight really anymore by the time he stepped in there. That's how Wilder won his title. His best win, in my opinion, was Luis Ortiz. But let's be real, Luis Ortiz, how old was he really? I mean, we don't know how old he was in that first fight. He got a TKO. He did fight him again and beat him again. But all his quality opponents that he fought, he lost to. He fought 5 times in the last 5 years with a record of 1-4. And the win was a blowout victory over Robert Halinas. Okay. Now, he just stepped in the ring in his last fight against Terrell Anthony Herdun, and he stopped him in the 7th round of a scheduled 10-round fight. Now, if you really take a look at Herdun Herden's record was 24 wins, 5 losses. So you say, okay, he was a decent fighter, right? Wrong. Every one of his wins was against no one you ever heard of, and all his losses were against people that you did hear of, and he was knocked out in every one of those fights. And this, a win over him, catapults him after losing. Prior to that, he lost to Zhilei Zhang. He lost to Joseph Parker. He beat Helenas. He lost to Tyson Fury, in my opinion, 3 times. So I mean, anytime he really fought a real fighter, he's lost. And the WBC has the balls to let him fight for a title. I know it's a voluntary defense. I get it. All right. I totally get it that it's a voluntary defense. But let's be real. I think the blame really here, and I hate to say it, is on Usyk. Usyk has done nothing but impress with his run at heavyweight by fighting literally the top guys. You can make an argument here and say, oh, well, he deserves to get an easier fight. No, I disagree. I mean, look, we're talking about a cash crash for Usyk. Does he need it? And look, let's be real. Is it really worth it? I mean, I don't see Usyk having any kind of a problem with Deontay Wilder, but the man does have that one punch knockout power. Should he connect and catch Usyk? I mean, wouldn't that be a travesty for Alexander Usyk to lose to Wilder? And by the way, who really wants to see Deontay Wilder fight again? I mean, look, he became a champion. He won. He made some money. They carefully moved him. And then he finally fought some decent people, and he lost. He was exposed. Please, Usyk, retire before you fight him. And is that what he's going to do? Could he? Because he did say he was going to retire in the next year or so, or move back down to cruiserweight. But is that what he wants to do? Get a cash out and beat Deontay Wilder, then ride off into the sunset? I mean, a guy that has beaten Tyson Fury twice, Anthony Joshua twice, Daniel Dubois twice, all top heavyweights. He's beaten and basically owned, and he's going to go out against Deontay Wilder? I just don't get it. I'm getting comments in the chat room. Give a shout out to my man, Coach Dave. He's in the chat room. He'll be back. Hopefully he can come back on the show soon. Also, possible TV commercial setting up Usyk's go-away fight. Listen, whether he's choosing to make this his last fight or not, let's be real. Before we get all crazy, it's not been made official. It's not officially official. All right? It's not officially official. But there's a lot of movement going towards it. I saw it on social media a couple of days ago, and I actually made a comment. I said, no, this is fake news. There's no way Usyk, with all the respect I have for Usyk, I just, I can't see him fighting Deontay Wilder. He gets nothing out of it. Deontay Wilder listen, I hate to use the word bum, but he was a one-trick phony from day one. He always was, he always will be, and he is a one-trick phony. I'm sorry. He's not going to change his ways. Listen, here's the thing. I mean, Coach Dave is in the chat room. He's a trainer. I'm not, okay? But there is one thing that I do know about training fighters, and that is that a fighter, when you work on something new, and let's say a fighter didn't have, let's say he wasn't using his jab right to set up his punches, and they work in the gym to have him, work on a jab, set up your punches, and he gets that next fight where he gets to incorporate all of the extra work he's put in on working on that jab, and he gets in trouble. He's fighting in this fight. He gets in a little trouble, and then what happens? They automatically, and it's human nature, a fighter will automatically revert back to what they do automatically. What they're used to, what they're accustomed to. And that's what happens with Deontay Wilder. He's accustomed to just going out there and trying to knock somebody's head off because they hand fed him fighters that he could do that to. And when he finally got in a position where he fought a real fighter, he lost. And what did he do to deserve? In 5 years, he lost. All those fights, 4 fights he lost in 5 years, and won that one in that little comment. And he deserves a world title shot over all these other heavyweights that have been busting their ass in the gym. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Coach Dave is backing me up. He says he goes back to what he knows. And he says he was in his camp twice. Well, do you think he deserves? Hey, Coach, you think he deserves a shot right now against Usyk? I mean, please, if he had a couple of wins, if he beat a legitimate contender, even number 10 contender, then I would say okay, but in any event, I think it's a travesty. I think it's going to hurt Usyk's overall resume. A win over Deontay Wilder does nothing for Usyk except put some money in his bank account, which, hey, I'm not going to knock him for that. But the fight itself is what's bad and what's wrong with the sport of boxing, because how can the powers that be in the sport of boxing let a guy like Deontay Wilder, just because he held a title, go back and, get a fast track to this fight? I'm totally sick over it, and I hope it really doesn't happen. But in any event, speaking of the WBC, there's some other things Malik Scott, that was a whole setup fight anyway. And Malik Scott tried to have him work on his jab. If you remember the first fight that he had with Malik Scott as his trainer, he did come out. He threw like 2 or 3 jabs and then went back to himself. And Coach Davis is agreeing what I said. Look, there's plenty of guys in line to fight. There's plenty of other fighters in line to fight. I mean, look, I'll look at my heavyweight rankings right now. I mean, this kid, Jet KBL, he's the guy that deserves a world title shot. Even Dubois should get another shot. If you want to look at young fighters, Frank Sanchez is fighting. You got Atuma, which I don't believe deserves a shot yet, but I would rather have him, fight than Deontay Wilder, even Fabio Wardley. I mean, look, it's a disgrace. But then again, Fabio Wardley's a champion now because Usyk gave up his WB title, so they made him a champion, which is also crazy. But some other